Guaranteeing the right to an abortion, that is the #1 priority for the DFL-controlled Minnesota House in session this session. In the wake of last summer's overturning of Roe v. Wade, the party is pushing for what's called the Protect Reproductive Options Act. Northern News Now's Larissa Millis spoke with leaders behind the bill.
Right away at the state capitol, the Minnesota House and Senate, both with DFL majorities, want to enshrine reproductive rights into statutory law.
What the Protect Reproductive Options Act does is take politicians and take government out of that personal decision making.
Senator Jen McEwen is the lead author of the PRO Act. Currently, abortion is legal in Minnesota under Doe versus Gomez, a 1995 ruling from the Minnesota Supreme Court. McEwen says the PRO Act would further protect that right.
We know, because of our experience this past year with the U.S. Supreme Court, that a court is only as strong as the judges that are on that court.
The bill is currently going through House and Senate committee hearings where Republicans have expressed concern.
I'm not opposed to contraception. I'm not opposed to all the family planning stuff. It's just when we get disappointed about the termination part that I get concerned. And so it seems as though this bill would create a fundamental right to an abortion at any time.
We Health Clinic in Duluth is the only abortion provider for hundreds of miles. Leaders there say in the months since the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, there's been an increase in need.
The clinics down in the cities, we're seeing an increase in patients coming from out of state, and so their wait times were getting longer, and those local patients to the cities were getting pushed up to us.
Paulina Briggs with We Health says while the bill's passage would be a good thing for reproductive rights advocates, she believes there's more work to be done.
There are people, even just from right across the border in Wisconsin, who aren't going to be able to access abortion because their state has restricted it, and they don't have the resources to get over here to Minnesota.
In Duluth, Larissa Millis, Northern News Now.
The Senate Health and Human Services Committee approved the bill this morning at a 6-3 vote. It now heads to another committee.